Is intergalactic travel possible? Intergalactic travel possible hai kya? Is it possible? Well, I think we should learn to walk before we learn to jog, and we should learn to jog before we learn to sprint. And we should learn to sprint before we learn to fly or whatever. So, uh, from our perspective, we currently have the technology to send spacecraft uh, to various parts of the solar system. When it comes to the Americans, they have sent spacecraft to various parts of the solar system, including the furthermost minor planet, Pluto. And two of the probes, the Voyager probes, are currently on the outskirts of the solar system. You could say that they are kind of outside the solar system, at least one of those. The Pioneer probes also are quite far, and various US spacecraft have visited various planets of the solar system. The Americans have landed humans on the moon. We currently have the International Space Station, which is mainly an American thing, where you have a couple of astronauts who are stuck there, which is rather unfortunate and silly. But okay, that's where we are. Uh, when it comes to nations like Japan, Japan has achieved a soft landing of a robotic spacecraft on an asteroid, which is fantastic, great achievement. When it comes to Russia, they have done a lot of good work in the past, but recently it looks like they have kind of regressed a little bit. They recently tried to land a spacecraft on the moon a couple of days before the Chandrayaan 3 spacecraft, and unfortunately, that spacecraft crashed. It just made a hard landing on the moon. The Japanese recently, I think, landed a spacecraft on the moon, soft landing, if I'm not mistaken. I hope it was not a hard landing, not a crash, and so on. So there are, and we have obviously Bharat, India. We have achieved soft landing on the moon, Chandrayaan 3, on the second attempt. Chandrayaan 2 had a hard landing. Chandrayaan 3 successfully landed and even did a hop test, and it also sent back the orbiter back to Earth orbit. So it over delivered. It went beyond what was expected, Chandrayaan 3. And Bharat also obviously has uh, is the only nation to successfully send a spacecraft into moon orbit, or into Mars orbit on the first attempt itself. So there are numerous nations that have these capabilities, and right now the most powerful space force, or most powerful force in space exploration, is SpaceX, and they have the technology to send humans to Mars. They currently have it, but they will uh, implement it, or they will roll it out in a phased manner. They will deploy it in a phased manner. So Elon Musk has recently tweeted that in the next few years, humans will reach Mars on his largest rocket. So right now, what's possible is reaching reaching Mars and moon and the moon. These two things are possible. For human beings, that's the limit of our possibility of our capabilities. Uh, we don't have currently have the capability to go beyond Mars. So, and when it comes to traveling below, traveling beyond the solar system, that's interstellar travel. You see, traveling from one star to another. So right now, if you use chemical rockets, the most powerful rockets we have are chemical rockets. They rely on chemical propulsion. The impulse comes from chemical reactions, essentially exothermic reactions. Uh, so if you rely on chemical rockets, interstellar travel will take tens or hundreds of thousands of years, just reaching the nearest star. If you use a technology like light sails, which is something we are almost there, maybe a decade or two. So if you use light sails, we may be able to reach the nearest stellar system, Proxima Centauri star system, in about 30, 40 years, which is a tremendous, like a quantum leap, essentially. So interstellar travel could be possible. 30, 40 years, we may even, if we get lucky, be able to send humans on a one-way or even two-way journey to Proxima Centauri. We don't know what's out there, but we could find out. Or we could send robotic probes. So we could be on the verge of being able to achieve interstellar travel, travel between stars. So we're talking about distances of a handful of light years. Okay, but when it comes to intergalactic travel, we're talking about millions of light years. Uh, right now, we can't even dream of that. Right now, that is it's feasible uh, according to the rules of physics. But but if you look at our capabilities, it's science. It's not science fiction. It's almost fantasy. Okay, so intergalactic travel, let's not think about it right now. Let's think about travel within the solar system. We can think about the moon, we can think about Mars, we can think about Venus, we can think about traveling to an asteroid nearby, locally available asteroid, let's say, and so on. And if you want to send robotic probes, you can actually begin to think about breakthrough starshot, which is sending a probe to Proxima Centauri, the nearest star system. Intergalactic travel, way, way, way in the future, not anything we can do right now.